country located in southern Asia bordering the Gulf of Thailand, the Gulf of Tonkin, and the South China Sea. The geography consists of hills and densely forested mountains in the northwest. Background of the country is to show you more details about that. Now, the purpose of this report is to analyze the economy of Vietnam. An observation has been made to overview any related information about economics in this country. First of all is about overview the problem on inflation and unemployment in Vietnam. Inflation is one of the major challenges to Vietnam's economy. It is also the reason for slow growth of the state of the economy of Vietnam. Inflation is understood as the uncontrolled increase in price. It means the devaluation of Vietnam currency. The unemployment rate in Vietnam is a particular problem. There are some reasons for this issue. It makes demand and supply of labor unequal. In fact, more supply than demand so that unemployment has risen. The average percentage change in the general price level is determined by the rate of inflation. Meanwhile, unemployment is a term referring to individuals who are employable and actively seeking a job but are unable to find a job. Included in this group are those people in the workforce who are working but do not have any appropriate job, usually measured by the unemployment rate, which is dividing the number of unemployed people by the total number of people in the workforce. Unemployment serves as one of the indicators of a country's economic status. Furthermore, there is those individuals in the workforce or pool of people who are eligible for jobs who may not have a suitable employment. Unemployment is one of the indicators of the state of an economy, generally determined by the unemployment rate, which divides the number of unemployed persons by the overall number of people in the workforce. The term unemployment can be tricky and often confusing, but it certainly involves people waiting to apply to a career after being discharged. However, for different reasons, such as leaving jobs to seek higher education, unemployment, injury, and family problems, it no longer involves workers who have quit searching for a career in the last 4 weeks. This phenomenon is frequently used as a scale to calculate the well-being of the economy in nation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faris Ehsan bin Hisham. I'm from BA1183B. Okay, I want to talk about overview the country of Vietnam. Vietnam, one country in South Asia and located at the eastern fringe of peninsula, and is split into 58 provinces and 5 manipulations, covering 331,699 square kilometers, with a population of over 96 million inhabitants, making it the world's sixth most populous country. The capital, Hanoi, is within the north, while the country's largest city, Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon, is within the south, and Vietnam experienced a period of prolonged warfare within the mid-20th century and a pandemic over 1954 to 1975. First military and later politically into Democratic Republic of Vietnam, better referred to as North Vietnam, and therefore the Republic of Vietnam, usually called South Vietnam, following reunification in April 1917 year. The Socialist Republic of Vietnam was established in July 1976. Okay, for population, according to the latest United Nations database on work matter, The current population of Vietnam update on Friday, May 21, 2021 years is 98111,538 at mid-year 2020. According to United Nations data, Vietnam population is estimated at 97,338,579 people, and Vietnam population is equivalent to 1.25% of the total world population. The median age in Vietnam is 32.5 years. In the list of countries of population, Vietnam ranks number 15 in that list, and the population density in Vietnam is 340 per km. The total land area is 310,070 km persegi. According to United Nations, projects are also included through the year 2100. The chart and table that show Vietnam population from 1950 to 2021. Yes, that is increased from 2020. For national income, Vietnam is one of the fastest growing countries in the world, and its economy has shown resilience to trade war and slower growth rates in neighboring China. This improved economy pays due to labor shifting from agriculture to manufacturing and service, private investment, a strong trade sector, higher wages, and agriculture and urbanization. Export concession and increasingly significant contribution to Vietnam GDP and certain sectors, such as industry production and center sector, and textile, electronics, and seafood production have been growing rapidly. Deficit trade structure, rising wages, and domestic competition are the backbone of the Vietnam's economy grow. Non-her labor costs remain competitive, which help attract foreign investment of the country. Economic challenges include lack of infrastructure, business climate shortcomings, pending public sector reforms, growing inequality, a weak banking system, tax reform, privatization of state-owned companies have compensated the budget deficit. Okay, four main sector contributors. Vietnam economy is based on large state-owned industries such as textile, food, furniture, plastic, and paper as well. As tourism, telecommunications, represent 40% of GDP and employs 36% of the total workforce in 2020 World Bank. Main crop include rice, coffee, cashews, nut, corn, pepper, sweet potatoes, peanut, cotton, rubber, and tea, as well as agriculture. While agriculture trade surprised Asia of the year in 2019, the livestock industry continued to suffer from various diseases, including swine flu. Service represented 41.6% of GDP and employing 35% of the total workforce in 2020. World Bank. Main service include tourism and telecommunications. Okay, for the lastly, national debt. In December 2020, Vietnam government debt accounted for 48.5% of the country dominant GDP compared with the net ratio of 48.0% in the previous year. Vietnam government debt to GDP ratio data is updated yearly and is available from December 2010 to December 2020. The data reaches an all-time high of 52.7% in December 2016 and a record low of 39.4% in December 2012. For the Ministry of Finance provide annual government debt as percent nominal GDP. Data for 2019 and 2020 are estimate values reported by the Ministry of Finance. In the latest report, Vietnam national government debt reaches 125.2 USD band in December 2019. The country's nominal GDP reaches 171.2 USD band in December 2020. The latest reports, Vietnam national government debt reaches 125.2 USD band in December 2019. The country nominal GDP reaches 271.2 USD band in December 2020.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhanisa Lana binti Makani. I'm from BA1183B. So now I will present the problem on inflation and unemployment in Vietnam, trend of inflation and unemployment minimum for past 50 years. The following is Vietnam inflation rate on 2005 until 2019. Based on the table shows, the inflation rate in Vietnam in 2008 was the highest. It peaked at 23.12% during that year. Following the year 2011, the inflation rate decreased to a whopping 18.68%. For the next few years, from 2020 to 2030, there was a slight decrease in the rate from 9.09% to 6.59%, followed by the year 2014, where the inflation rate falls, which is 4.08%. In 2015, the inflation rate in Vietnam was 0.63%, which is the lowest it has gotten in the past 50 years. Unfortunately, in 2016, the inflation rate increased slightly to 2.67%. The following years also saw an increase in the rate to 3.52% in 2017, 3.54% in 2018, and in 2019, Vietnam saw a low decrease to the inflation rate of 2.80%. Based on the graph above, during the year 2005 to 2019, exactly 15 years of data, the year that has made us interested about is the year 2008. As shown above, in 2008, Vietnam was facing with the highest inflation rate it has, which sits at 23.12%. Among the inflation that occurred in Vietnam in 2008 was demand pull inflation. If governments pay more money for goods and services, the money they pay goes directly into the economy, resulting in higher demand. For example, the export price of rice in 2007 increased by 15% from 2006, so that the demand for rice export increased. At that time, supply could not meet demand due to the disasters or other factors. All factors cause demand to attract inflation, which makes the price of goods, products, or service increase. The actual policy taken by the Vietnam's government to tackle inflation in 2008 was monetary policy. In 2008, Vietnam exported about 99.13 billion US dollars, of which about 32.1% of the export value was heavy industry and minerals, 45.2% are light industries and handicraft, 32.5% are agriculture, forestry, and fisheries. In the same year, the value of imports reached $60.8 billion, of which an estimates 30.2% of imports were machinery, equipment, all types of tools, and 63.7% were raw material data, only 6.1% for consumer goods. So, let's move on to the rate of unemployment in Vietnam. Based on the graph above, the unemployment rate in Vietnam has a slight increase and decrease over the course of the 2007 to 2013. In 2014, the unemployment rate reached over 2.13% and decreased by 2.08% in 2015. The year 2016 is 2.05%, where the rate decreased 1.99% in 2017. In the next few years, the percentage rate slowly goes up, which is 2.01% in 2018 and 2.02% in 2019. From the graph, we can see that the unemployment rate increased and decreased throughout the years. The percentage jumped in 2005 and 2015, making it one of the highest unemployment rates priced for Vietnam in the last 50 years. According to the website, first is the population growth of Vietnam has reached 86 million people 2009, the sixth in Southeast Asia, and is also increasing annually. Almost 50% of the population is of working age. This puts socio-economic development and creating new jobs always under pressure. A large number of Vietnam's workers graduate from high school alone. Others who graduate from college or university with low skills to work or low in technical skills because the Vietnam's education and training system has many problems. And the second, population imbalance are inappropriately arranged between various fields and areas of business. A large number of immigrants come from rural areas. They move to a large city where it houses many industrial parks. This makes the townspeople growing more and more. Therefore, the unemployment rate is always high. The actual policy taken by the Vietnam government to overcome unemployment in year 2019 is the fiscal policy. On the other hand, thousands of factories have laid off their workers due to the global economic downturn and the financial crisis in 2008. Companies are unable to sell or export their goods and services. Some of them had to stop working and workers lost their jobs. As a result, the number of unemployed workers continues to increase.
Okay, now I will continue with the impact of coronavirus pandemic on inflation and employment in Vietnam. Since 2020, coronavirus has spread around the world, including Vietnam. The first case at Vietnam has been reported in January 23, 2020. It have affect everything, especially to economy, because business economy cannot run as normal due to this pandemic, easy to spread through thoughts. From January 23 until May 21, Vietnam has recorded with 5,330 cases, 41 deaths and 2,089 recovered. Due to this pandemic, the inflation rate in Vietnam has been increased from 2.80% in 2019 to 3.77% in 2020. Then, the Vietnam government has taken the security measure to curb the inflation rate, which is making a social distance and lockdown which involve business closing, but it have significantly affect economy, especially in terms of employment. There were 897.5 thousand people losing job, while the number of unemployed people was 1.3 million. The unemployment rate in female worker group was about 2.9%, highest than men, and increased sharply. In addition, domestic migrant workers, which include 30.6% of the total population, often work in the informal economy without a work contract and without access to social protection regimes. Thus, Vietnam are facing this difficult time because of lockdown and social distancing. From 51.8 million employer workers in the second quarter of that year, about 30.8 million people were affected by epidemic, which is 2.4 million workers lose their job despite the national unemployment rate increase. In addition, this pandemic caused the income of many Vietnam households decreased by 70%. The household income decreased the most due to the coronavirus pandemic is recorded in April 2020, which is only 29.7%. With the negative impact of the coronavirus pandemic, Vietnam economy in 2020 also decreased about 4% compared to last year. However, Vietnam's slower growth is still expected to be higher than the Asia average of 2.2%, but even though we could see Vietnam growth slow down to 4.8% in 2020, but it will remain among Asia's fastest growing economy.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syahidah binti Azmi. My matric number is 2020950757. I'm from BA1183B. Government stimulus package is an economic measure made and implemented by the government of each country to improve, strengthen and stimulate the economy of a country, as well as to reduce unemployment and also to increase spending in the country. The impact of the global crisis has been noticed by the government of Vietnam. In 2008, monetary policy was relaxed by the government by cutting the base rate from 14% per annum to 7% per annum. In Vietnam, when 6 billion stimulus package is announced, it will reduce the impact of the global financial and economic crisis on the people and economy of Vietnam, as well as slow down economic activity in general. Moving to the interest rate that receives praise and criticism in the subsidy program is one of the special features of the stimulus package in Vietnam. This subsidy program started in April 2009. This is effective as expected. This benefit also ended at the end of 2009, subsidizing 4% of the modest interest payment charged for 2 years. In April 2009, a series of stimulus measures targeted at the rural economy were introduced by the government. These measures or series include interest-free loans to farmers to purchase farm equipment and subsidized loans. However, this measure covers 70% of the eligible population as well as eligible to access 48 million credits. In addition, stimulus package from the business sector have given resilience to key drivers of new recovery. This stimulus has also been a lifesaver in helping to seek and access loans on track and maintaining production as well as creating jobs for all citizens.
In conclusion, based on the study we have conducted, we found that Vietnam, the inflation rate is very inconsistent throughout the year, and the unemployment rate is slowly rising by each year. Therefore, the Vietnamese government took some steps to solve this problem with increased production and export of materials. In 2008, Vietnam exported about 99.13 billion US dollars, of which about 32.1% of the export value was heavy industry and minerals. 45.2% are light industries and handicrafts. 32.5% are agriculture, forestry, and fisheries. Other estates, the government also took steps that some of them should stop working and workers lose their jobs. As a result, the number of unemployed workers continues to increase. At the end, what we have learned is we know a little bit background of Vietnam, which are a population, national income, main sector, and national debts, also problem of inflation and unemployment, monetary and fiscal policies, impact of coronavirus on inflation, and impact of government stimulus package on national debt.